fifth Super Bowl this weekend, unbelievable, which is already tied with John Elway for the second most ever behind Tom Brady's 10. Mahomes is also 17-3 in the postseason, which is the best winning percentage ever with a minimum of 5 games. This just in, boy, is good. Stephen A., whose legacy will take the biggest hit if Mahomes wins another Super Bowl?
Well, I don't think there's any question it's going to be Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen together. They're in the same conference. They're phenomenal. They're great. And they're going to be known just as much for being individuals that can't beat this one man as they are for anything else. Because ultimately you're going to look at them and you're going to ask yourself the question, why aren't these guys champions? Because everything else about them and their resume is there. And the answer to that question is going to be Patrick Mahomes. So the more Patrick Mahomes wins, the more it highlights how they don't win or haven't won, because he's the guy that has been standing in their way.
This one has me completely lost.
Yeah.
And now I'm even more lost with your answer. Why does anybody's legacy take a hit if Mahomes wins another? I don't think anybody's legacy takes a hit. I think his legacy gets elevated. Stephen A., at the early part of the hour, earlier part of the hour, you talked that if he wins, he becomes the GOAT. Like, he passes Brady as the greatest of all time. But now you're telling me that two quarterbacks that are great players, if he does become the GOAT, their legacies take hit. So, and we're going to ask ourselves why or how come you can't beat that guy? So you're telling me that their legacies take a hit because they can't be the GOAT?
You might have been too young. You might have been stuck up in Storrs, Connecticut. I don't know if you missed it.
Oh, relax.
But I remember there was a great quarterback by the name of Peyton Manning. And everybody knew how phenomenal he was. And the pressure that man had on him in 2006, if I remember correctly, wasn't in the Super Bowl against the Chicago Bears. It was in that AFC Championship game against the New England Patriots. Tom Brady and the New England Patriots were rolling in to the Dome in Indianapolis. And all the pressure was on him because we all knew how phenomenal and how great he was. But he couldn't beat Tom Brady. And he had to get that. It was immense pressure. And that's all anybody was talking about when it came to Peyton Manning. I'm simply saying, we can recognize and appreciate your greatness along with that of others. But when you are great and when there's one particular impediment that prevents you from being at the top of the heap, that prevents you from hoisting the trophy and finishing number one when the season comes to an end, when that one thing is what's standing in your way, it becomes synonymous with you. I don't understand how that's difficult to comprehend.
Because
how is that difficult to comprehend?
That's still going to be the case if Mahomes wins or loses this Super Bowl. If Patrick and the Chiefs lose this Super Bowl, we are still at some point next season when Lamar or Josh Allen has to play Patrick in that meaningful game to move on to the playoffs. We're still going to sit here and go, you can't beat them, whether they win or lose.
But we'll still be taught. But what will primarily dominate the conversation is also the fact that Patrick Mahomes didn't win the Super Bowl. He didn't three-peat. He got knocked off. What I'm saying to you, if he doesn't get knocked off and he wins a Super Bowl championship, you're looking at this guy and you're still saying, you're talking about it more. The narrative doesn't change regardless because he's there now in the Super Bowl and they're not. But I'm saying it becomes a bit more conspicuous in the mind's eye. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, that dude right there seems unbeatable. He's the one thing standing in your way.
But that isn't going away.
Yeah,
that isn't changing.
That already exists. The only thing that
exactly.
changed in terms of quarterback comparisons is maybe the conversation with Tom Brady.
Right, and that's why
Not to anyone else in the league. It's already him and everybody else. And I have a really hard time stalking to him on this giant screen while I'm a piano. It feels like a little bit of worship.
I love it.
I honestly
I'm actually really uncomfortable with it. It's so annoying.
Just give
like
him
this
one.
Weird Charlie's Angels.
Right,
I don't
right
like
to the bridge of the nose.
Dan, to crystallize it for you, if we're writing, you're sitting back and you're writing a newspaper column, you're writing for .com or something like that, and everything, you're looking for story angles and story ideas, right? If Patrick Mahomes loses, you're talking about him. If he wins, you're just solidifying and cementing his greatness even more. And the task of knocking him off appears to be even greater down the line for the Josh Allens and the Lamar Jacksons of the world. Again, it doesn't change.
Yeah.
It's just that it becomes more of a focal point when it comes to them.
Did you go gambling last night?
Yeah.
Were you out late?
Just let him have it.
Spending a little money
I don't
because
gamble. I don't gamble.
You gambled with this.
I don't
tape.
gamble.
You gambled with this tape
was
because
risky.
it's just the only persons whose legacy is even.
I don't understand what's so difficult for you to comprehend.
Because if Patrick Mahomes wins, I think about it in this regard. It's the fourth quarter on Sunday. The Chiefs are up by 3 with a minute left, and they got to get a huge third down conversion. They get it. Brady is calling the game. Could you imagine Tom Brady, the greatest of all time, and the person that we have placed, rightfully so, as the greatest of all time, having to call, oh my gosh, I'm the quarterback that he's chasing. He's said he's chasing me, and now he's done something that I haven't done. I think that's the only person's legacy who gets even referenced in this.
That was brilliant, and you should be writing an article for ESPN.com or a newspaper, because that was the best storyline I've heard.
That wasn't good.
Case closed.
Yeah.
Anything
We're not
else
going to
to
talk
say?
about Lamar.
First take after dark?
We're not going to talk about Lamar.
All right.
There's one person up here that was writing columns. It was neither of y'all, but it's okay. I understand. I'll go with it.
Are you saying we can't write columns?
Yeah, what are you trying to say?
I don't even know what a column is.
Go to Bob Still.
I'm saying you have it.
It's Jimmy Butler.
Who do I tell you is constantly the biggest weapon at ESPN? He's
Hembo.
Guess how many 100-yard rushers the Chiefs have given up in their last 18 playoff games?
Yeah, the answer is 0.
0.
Yeah.
They've given up 2 touchdown runs of more than 6 yards in that 18-game stretch. If they are able to slow down and minimize that run game, it is going to take a heroic effort, scheme and performance-wise. And if there's a defense that can do it, it's the Kansas City Chiefs.
And that Chiefs coaching staff with an extra week to prepare, we talk about a lot. We talk about it with Andy Reid, but Spagnuolo has shown that too in Super Bowls, right? The ability to game plan and execute at a high level in those games. Think about what we're saying. If you can just keep the guy from running 60 yards on one play, you've got a chance. He did it so much this year that that's actually got to be. So, you talked, I think, about Nick Bolton earlier, right? Like the linebackers. The tackling at the second and third level by the Rams in Washington the last couple of weeks was horrendous. So obviously the Chiefs should be more buttoned up there as a result of their experience and the time they've had to plan.
Yeah, that's why Nick, that's why Leo Chenal, that's why Justin Reed. These guys are they have to have the best game of their life. Because if they do, then Chris Jones goes, guess what? Now it's my turn.
I'll take it from here.
Now here we go. Charles Omenihu goes, here we go. George Karlaftis goes, here we go. The game is actually pretty simple when you think about it.
Yeah.
If they can get Jalen to 2nd and 6, 7 plus, 3rd and 6, 7 plus, if you're a Chiefs fan, you're going, here we go, boys.
Yeah.
Here we go. And Jalen has to be ready for that.
Meanwhile, on the other side, the quarterback is the stuff of legend, and he is starting to hear the idea that maybe his team is the villain in all of this. He responded to that last night at Media Night.
We embrace who we are, and we believe we play the game the right way. We believe that we play with a lot of heart and a lot of passion for the game, and then we win football games. And if winning football games makes you a villain, we're going to keep going out there and doing it.
Okay, so, that part of it, that's the big picture, and there's plenty of time for that, but we're doing a little picture today. And you are looking, Lewis, at the 2 receivers, the 2 speedy, super speedy receivers for the Chiefs as the difference.
Yeah, look, it's the return to health of Hollywood Brown, who was hurt earlier in the season, and you saw how really intentional Patrick was and Andy Reid was at getting him involved early on in the football.
Thinking I got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside of 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Steps away to his left. And he's got it. So the 2-point can. He finds his target. It's Crowder. And he takes it down deep into Pittsburgh territory. And a big 32-yard play on third. Here comes the D swarming to the line. Now they try the right side here. And he is into the end zone for a Washington touchdown. Man, that's caught left sideline. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A good pickup there, 26 yards. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. On first down, it's gone. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. No, bottled up fumble. It's out. It's loose. And the Redskins scoop it. And the return here is stopped at the 30.